Nana Konedu Yadom III, the 14th Asantehemaa, was born Nana Konedu in Kwadaso and installed in 2017 after succeeding her mother, Yaw Akuoko Wampem II. She was the elder sister of Otumfuo Seitutu II, the current Asantehemaa. Throughout her reign, she served as the second most powerful figure in the Ashanti Kingdom, a custodian of the matrilineal royal line and a trusted advisor to the Asantehemaa. Known for her humility, wisdom, and fairness, she embodied the unifying spirit of Asantehemaa. Her legacy was also defined by philanthropy. She made notable contributions to health institutions such as the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital and Menchia Government District Hospital, covering medical bills for mothers and championing annual breastfeeding campaigns. In recognition of her generosity, the Saviour Church named her school after her, the Nana Konedu Saviour School. Nana Konedu Yadom III passed away on 7th August 2025 at age 98. Her passing was officially announced by Otumfuo Seitutu II, and a one-week observance was held on 21st August 2025 at Menchia Palace. She is remembered as a mother figure, cultural leader, and unifying force whose counsel and service to her people will remain an enduring legacy in Ashanti history.
special welcome to Prime Morning. It's a special edition where we are mourning with the Asantehemaa as the late Queen Mother of the Kingdom is being laid to rest today. It's a very special occasion, solemn occasion for that matter, that will be happening in Kumasi at the Menchia Palace. It's expected that thousands of people will converge at the Menchia Palace for this very event. Of course, we know that it started quite some while, started on Monday, all through to today, and preparations have been in full swing for this very day. In fact, reports we are gathering from Kumasi and beyond is that people are very much ready for this event, and it's not just going to be a final funeral rite for the late Queen Mother. It's also going to be a display of the Ashanti culture and by extension, the Ghanaian culture. So much is expected to unfold today. And now, just going by, you had the profile of the late Queen Mother. We're going to bring you back that profile, if you missed it, to appreciate the legacy of the Asantehemaa. And for those of you who are not very familiar who she is, we will bring that profile back so that you can appreciate it. We'll also be speaking to one of the chiefs in the Ashanti region for some better appreciation of what is going to happen today. We'll be speaking to one of the chiefs very shortly. But let's go back and listen to the profile of the Asantehemaa so you can better understand for who we have all gathered here today.
Nana Konadu Yadom III, the 14th Asantehemaa, was born Nana Konedu in Kwadaso and then stood in 2017 after succeeding her mother, Yaw Akuoko Wampem II. She was the elder sister of Otumfuo II, the current Asantehemaa. Throughout her reign, she served as the second most powerful figure in the Ashanti Kingdom, a custodian of the matrilineal royal line and a trusted advisor to the Asantehemaa. Known for her humility, wisdom, and fairness, she embodied the unifying spirit of Asantehemaa. Her legacy was also defined by philanthropy. She made notable contributions to health institutions such as the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital and Menchia Government District Hospital, covering medical bills for mothers and championing annual breastfeeding campaigns. In recognition of her generosity, the Saviour Church named a school after her, the Nana Konedu Saviour School. Nana Konedu Yadom III passed away on 7th August 2025 at age 98. Her passing was officially announced by Otumfuo II, and a one-week observance was held on 21st August 2025 at Menchia Palace. She is remembered as a mother figure, cultural leader, and unifying force whose counsel and service to her people will remain an enduring legacy in Ashanti history.
Yeah, indeed. What a legacy she, manifested for the many years that she ruled as the Asantehemaa. And of course, she is such an important pillar in the Asante Kingdom, very important pillar. And it's a life well lived to a very large extent. I also mentioned that this event started earlier this week, and we know that a number of political leaders and chiefs have gone in to pay homage to the chief, the Asantehemaa himself. We know several political leaders have been there. Chiefs from all parts of the country have also been there, and more of them are expected to throng the palace today for that final funeral rite. Now, if you're watching Prime Morning, this is still Prime Morning, it's a special edition. and we are commiserating with the Asante Kingdom and bringing you full coverage of the funeral of the Asantehemaa. Now, yesterday, a number of things also unfolded at the Menchia Palace. My colleague Nana Boakye Yadom was there yesterday, and he monitored what happened and has a wrap of it in this report, which we'll be sharing with you very shortly. As I mentioned, many chiefs and people from all walks of life have been going there to commiserate with the king, and yesterday that very activity also unfolded. So this is what happened yesterday at the Menchia Palace.
And this is the burial service of the late Asantehemaa, Nana Kunedu Yadom III. Today it is a display of beautiful culture here at the Jabrim grounds at the Menchia Palace, at the forecourt of the palace itself, where hundreds of people, residents, chief, traditional rulers, government officials, some of them have gathered over here, all of them witnessing the burial service of the late Asantehemaa Nana Kunedu Yadom. Behind me is where we have the main podium, and then over there we have where the Asantehemaa is going to sit. He is going to sit in state today. The Asante is already walking on the streets of the Menchia area, or the Menchia community. He moved out of his official home and then went to the street. Now, officially, what has to be done is that on such occasions, the Asante is said to be coming out of the forest signifying that he is in grief and he is in a state of mourning. And so while this palace is not a forest, he has to walk through the street to a sort of signal that he is coming out of some way, somehow, a place crowded. And that is why today we have the Asante in him walking through the streets of Menchia. So that is being done alongside hundreds of chiefs who are also joining him over there. But then we have divisional chiefs, some of them who are already seated. We have some paramount seats who are already seated here at Jabrim, waiting for the funeral to officially commence. We have, today happens to be the day for the church service to happen officially, and then right after the church service tomorrow is also another day, a long day, and then on Thursday we are climaxing it with a huge burial. We are climaxing it with a burial of the Asantehemaa Nana Kunedu Yadom III at Bremen, when that Tuesday is said to be a day of silence in the Ashanti region, and a day where all movement would cease and business would not be the same as usual. And so that Thursday is going to be the climax of the Asantehemaa's burial service. But then from today, which is the day that burial begins, we are witnessing the colorful display of culture. We have umbrellas in its shape and in its form. You can see chiefs coming in, the huge umbrellas all over the place, small umbrellas coming in. We have queen mothers who themselves are an embodiment of who the Asantehemaa was then time living as the queen mother of the kingdom. And now every queen mother is coming in with grief, wearing or clad in red and black. The Asantehemaa Nana Yaw Akuoko came in an attire, in a war regalia, which shows that she is also in a state of mourning. And you can see another woman here. Her dressing signals the same dressing or attire that many of the queen mothers are having today. She is in black, and she is also in a state of mourning. This is how all the queen mothers, most of them, look like today at the Menchia Palace. It will be difficult for us to get anybody to engage with, because everybody at this point is watching, is listening, and is waiting for the Asante to sit in state for the burial to officially commence. Up until today to Thursday, we are going to have dignitaries, including the President John Dramani Mahama, coming into the palace to mourn with the Asante. We're expecting former President Nana Akufo-Addo, former President John Agyekum Kufuor, and other individuals, political individuals, to join in and mourn with the Asante. But then, let me say that former President John Agyekum Kufuor is already at the Menchia Palace because he is a royal himself. And so when the body of the Asantehemaa was brought to the palace yesterday, the former President John Agyekum Kufuor was here adorned with the Asantehemaa as they watch on for everything to fall in place. Now let's go here and see what is happening. The cultural display is beautiful because you can see that the Abrafo are bringing in or leading the chiefs into the palace, and that is the first thing you see when a chief is making his way into Jabrim, where he is going to have or take his seat. The Abrafo are clad in black, some of them with clay all over their body. You can't even see their face, and this is one of them, a tall man you see here with his face painted black. He is an Abrafo, and he's leading the chiefs to make their way into the palace, and they are also part of the security apparatus at the palace, making sure that everything is in place and in order. Let me also say that the RECSEC have put in place huge security measures to make sure that everything is in order. You can't misbehave over here. And then the people you see here are the war leaders. They are believed to have led the olden day war that the Asantes used to fight. And so in this moment where we are mourning the Asantehemaa, we are also describing it as a state of war going. That is why they all have to dress like this, and that is what you see. Clay all over them, painted their faces with black, and some of them even painted their faces with the clay sand. And that is the cultural display all over this place at the Menchia Palace today. And some of the paramounts continue to come in, some of them in white, and then the white you see is different from the regular black here. The white we believe are to be the gods, the smaller gods, and so they come in with whites leading them. Some include the Tepamanhine, and then other chiefs, just a few of them who put on white when coming. But this one you see here is the Kumeumanhine, the Berima himself coming in here to mourn with the Asantehemaa. Over 60 paramount seas are going to join Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II today at the Menchia Palace. While they continue to come in, let's put on record that the Asantehemaa will not sit down until all of the paramounts and chiefs are seated. That is culture, that is custom, because he's the last person to sit in state. And so every chief at this point would have to hurriedly get into Jabrim to sit down. And that is why even when the Asantehemaa moved out of his residence, he did not go into Jabrim to sit down, but rather decided to go to war, go to the forest, or fair to say, walk on the streets of Menchia, so that all of these chiefs can officially take their seat, and then he would walk in for the burial service to commence. The Asantehemaa, I must say, is seated in state. She's seated in she's lying in state, I beg your pardon. Her body is at the Asantehemaa's official yard, which is just some few meters away from the Asantehemaa's official yard. And so that is where her body is being laid. You can see the Manso and Kwanta Manhema also coming in. The Manso Kwanta Manhema, once a musician and a rapper. She is making her way to the Menchia Palace, while the warlocks also continue to do all that they have to do today. And so this is it here at the Menchia Palace. Culture being displayed beautifully. The Ashanti culture being displayed beautifully today. All of us are waiting the Asantehemaa to sit in state, and then we have the burial service begin. We have hundreds of residents in the Ashanti region, diplomats, government officials, political party supporters or political party people, all of them coming in to mourn with the Asantehemaa today. And so this is the first day of the burial service, and this is what we have happening live at the Menchia Palace. Over to you. We are
That was Nana Boachiado, my colleague in Kumasi, bringing us a recap. That was a recap of what happened earlier this week, particularly yesterday as the funeral rites did begin. And so it was quite a lot unfolded. You could see in the visuals from the week, and we'll be bringing you all the updates on our platforms. But one other significant thing that happened, and it characterizes such an event like this, has to do with the chief priests in the Ashanti Kingdom. The chief priests. At such a time like this, they often begin to engage the ancestors and the gods of the land. And yesterday was quite very heavy. If we want to describe it, they were getting very deep into the realm of the spirits, very deep into the realm of the spirit, as they engage the ancestors and mourn. And I mean, in terms of symbolic meaning, it is explained as them guiding the Asantehemaa to rest in place with the ancestors. So we're going to bring you a recap of some of those visuals as the chief priest did what they do best, some of the incantations and rituals they were doing, in the course of the week as part of the burial rites.
Some get to Accra. You go so, you are comfortable. Be away there. I comfortabia. My catcher was a comfortable one night. Nay, so I comfort a second year. And what Asantehemaa met my catcher so when I'm a body moha. And Yasam get to one. I'm a crosswalk. One woman, then walk about TV soon. Walk about TV soon. I don't TV soon, yo. And now I hear a movie by. I hear a movie by.
And I don't come for, and I walk with other day, and you buy it. And one thing you buy it, woman, maybe you are conforming you buy it.
That's it, you know. I come to my dear Gusukaswa, you have your way, and your mamma don't want to crosswalk. And Yasam Ketua, a mamma don't want to crosswalk. And Yasam Ketua, we are doing TV to a mamma and your money, and Yasam Ketua Hapra. Comforted Dawson. Comforted doors over her, and I can't get me to the Omodos will be a Yunkoya, Obia, a Israha, Obia, a Kirium, Sadabaya, Asantehemaa, the dirty year, Nefras, the best my friends, Yajo, the Agorium, our as we come, baby a drain, baby a drain, a comfort, a Bia, Yaya, Mamre, and Yamania, a Togu, Alishmama, Yaguso, our Yawabia, Decosubiano, Yama Atum TV, Jan Akafo, and Yanatio, Bomo Aso Eziwaho, the Jama just why I'm a Sanchaman, Kodobe Emluku. Yaguso, our Piaya, our more air commoner. Yadika catcher was a how baha. Mamma Malay and the choke. And I'm not comfort. No one you have one day. And the 4 years away. Even one Mamma and Yamania and Yasam Ketua. The Tinamuno, Yaba, Yabaya or 2 for the post of Cassia, our na yɛne ne mɔnkɔ mɔ wɔre ne kɔm ɔtumfoɔ ɛbosom no nana yɛmoakwaba ɛrɔba adom tv so
bakyɛ mɛgye so
yɛ medeɛ menemo paa na sere nkɔkɔ bɛhu nti no wodi pa wodi bɛre sɛe
nana akwasi asare
wona woyɛ hwan
meyɛ Asantehene bosomfoɔ a mekɔm kosoma agyendu ane bugari
okay
makase kɛse
mede ase ɛnɛ yɛhwɛ Asantehemaa nana kuna do yɛre ɔtɔ so mmiɛnsa ɔkɔ akura ɛnɛ akɔmfoɔ dwumadie no paa no ɛho ɛnkasɛ te sɛ ɛna deɛ amamrɛ ne amane ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa ɛwɔ ha koraa wotumi ho sɛ akɔmfoɔ no gu so ɔmo akyia ɔmo yi afa yɛm yɛhwɛ ɛnɛ dɛ neɛhwɛ no akɔmfoɔ no hɔ
adwuma kaseɛ yɛdeɛ de na adwuma koraa so paa wɔ dwumadie yi mu ɛsɛ sɛ nana kɔ akura sɛ yi a Asantehemaa yɛ dii ɛwɔ sɛ yɛfrɛ ahohom no asikadwa adaworoma ahohom no nyinaa bɛboa yɛn na biribiaa kɔkama sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a susum biara a ɛpɛ sɛ dwumadie yi ɛyɛ bɛyɛ basaa na biribi bɛsɛɛ no saa susum no nyinaa ɛwɔ sɛ yɛpam no ma wɔn kɔ na papa nkoa na ɛba Asantehemaa mu na saa musuo yi ebi nto ebi o na yɛbɛhunu bia na nana ɔbɛbɛ bie mu no wɔnyina nyina fi ɔdoma afoma brɛ ansa na ɔpasa akɔ yɛtete kwam yɛde ama ɔhene yɛde ahyɛ ɔhene so de na ama ɔhene tuma nya nkoto na ɔsa de ato Asantehemaa kuto no bi deɛ wɔ a
nti bayɛnhwɛ ɛnɛ ewiem te sɛ
ɛnɛ ɛhwɛ ewiem deɛ ewiem nyinaa yɛ kama basabasa biara ni hɔ Asantehemaa mu to bɔbɔɔ nananom baeɛ no ɔma nkyerɛ musuo biara sɛ bɔne bi ba ɛnim sɛ kwan mu da hɔ sɔdee ɛnɛ musuo nyinaa yɛyɛ afiri kwan mu biribiara dɛm bɔ kamakama
ɛnɛfoɔ nan na yɛde asi hɔ a yɛde ɛyɛ Asantehemaa Nana Akufo-Addo Yaw ne dɔte yie akɔmfoɔ kɛse a mowɔ Asantehemaa mu ha a wowɔ akɔyɛ bosom kɛse a wo na wohwɛ otumfoɔ ne bosom so no ɛdeɛ deɛ nhwɛ ade mmom hɔ
nafuwa nan no yɛn yɛ dwumadie sɛ yɛbɛtete kwa mu abɛkwa mu ada yɛn yɛde te kwa mu awie ewie bibia yɛaka bia sɛbe ɔno mu fira ama so obi ofiri bibia bɛni sɛ nkwanhyia yɛyɛ musuo bia ntimi ma bia bɛkɔ bɔbɔ ama nana dɔte yie no ayɛ kama na de ase bia ma na gagya
nana mede ase pii eti no wohwɛ si deɛ ɛkɔ yɛ a ɛna akɔm no ɛkɔ so ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa na wotumi hwɛ mu wɔ ha a wotumi hu sɛ akɔm kɛseɛ bi kɔ so wɔ hɔ a ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa na ɛnɛ no ɛyɛ amammerɛ ne amanneɛ ɛno ne yɛka sɛ akandeɛ wokɛ yɛ abakɔsɛm yɛ amammerɛ ne amanneɛ a yɛtoto no ase ɛno bɛpue mu wɔ ha a yɛsua dodoɔ no a ɛwɔ ha a ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa wei ɛyɛ nsuti akɔ aman bepɔ so sɛkyerɛ central kɔmfoɔ ntwi ɛna na yi wɔkɔm ɛwɔ ha no nsuti akɔ aman bepɔ so sɛkyerɛ central kɔmfoɔ ntwi ɛna ha yɛmba yɛ ho sɛ ɔmo nkɔm a ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa akɔm no gyina mu gidigidigidi ɛnɛ nyɛ asɛm ketewa wɔ ha ɛnɛ abakɔsɛm ɛnɛ amammerɛ ɛnɛ amanneɛ dodoɔ no yɛtwa gu ɛwɔ Adom TV so yɛde nyina so mmo wohwɛ na da so yi a wɔyɛ kɔmfoɔ ntwi nsuta kɔ ama bepɔ so kɔmfoɔ ɛna na yi wɔkɔm no ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa koraa ɛnɛfoɔ nan na Asantehemaa de asi wɔ ɛde yɛ dɔtɔ yie ama Nana Akufo-Addo Yaw ɔtɔ so mmiɛnsa na ɛnɛ no yɛ akɔgya foforɔ yɛnya na Asantehemaa ne amammerɛ no yɛtumi hu bi ne yɛsa asua bi yɛti ɛnɛ da edi nkan a yɛfiri aseɛ yi yɛho sɛ ama kɔmfo dodoɔ no wɔ ha a dodoɔ no ɛkɔm ɛnɛ dodoɔ no akyerɛ sɛ nsuo ntɔ awia so na bɛbɔ na ha no yɛ biaeɛ a kɔmfo nko a yɛtumi nkan ɔdɔɔso akɔmfo ɛna ɔmo Asantehemaa ha nyinaa no bɛtumi aka sɛ nna yi sɛ wokɔ ɔma so no yɛ so ahuhu ɔmo nyinaa aba ha a wɔn ɛboa na yɛgyae Nana kwan nti Adom TV amammerɛ wɔ ha deɛ wɔ sɛ wohu biara bɛsom mo deɛ wɔ sɛ wote biara sɛ bɛka akyerɛ wo yɛde kan ɛne otumfoɔ ne bosom kɛseɛ kɔmfoɔ abɔ nkɔmmɔ na wakyerɛ sɛ ɛnɛ biribiara wiem da fɔgoo mayɛ biribiara kama a ɛnɛ biribiara ne wɔbɛtumi asi na ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa wɔ ha ɛsɛ w'ani sɛ wokakyɛ ɛne sɛ yɛtwa bi kyɛ wɔ Adom TV so no akɔmfo dodoɔ na adwumadi ɛkɔ so akɔmfo dodoɔ na mekae ɛmfie nwɔtwe ma yɛbaeɛ sɛ ebi mu tumi kɔma ne ayi sika ebi mu tumi kɔma ne atwa mu ti afiri so ebi mu tumi kɔma ne yɛsɛ bi ayera ɛnɛ yɛhwɛ obi a ɔbɛkɔma biara ɛbɛtwa no ma wo obi a ɔbɛkɔma yi sika bi ɛbɛtwa ama wo ɛne obi aba ba community TV as be twa ma wo ne nyina ya mamre ani amane a ewo Asantehemaa ha akwamfo ne doso ubia mu ha ba hu na wotwe ahafo mem konfo ono so na ewo ho na akwamfo ba konsunie akwamfo ba hu to akwam kakra wo kwam ye emre se nie
me ban say me free me master some de almost 7 years in here but me name master na 13 years
and na mam dan amane ye kwaso de na hwefiri mo
ye hwefiri na say ye wura ye maame ene da fom ye do do ne bia ko ye ba beta na chi na de me ka tro man Ghana ne say ye nioma na ye atugu no ye momoden se ye be se akọ hwehwe kira kwan ye nioma na ye tu na asesa no ye momoden se ye be kwa akọ sesale biem eno ni ade a ehame e wo makumam yesu hu nenso ye kan se ye sa enso ye chi dwale yesu hu da bia o ena me se o mato nioma bia go ya fra na abosomsem ama na dane abosomsem ama ya tu agu ama oman no esi ni tirase yanwe incidents ya esi oman Ghana mu baby a ade ne kotoye ni muja ehie gu no ohene esi ye mpanifo sole na omutu hu anamon ene sai mo oman Ghana ye mesre free ye mpanifo mo kambie wo mu ho ese incident na esi e wo oman Ghana we mu no opomomodin ese ombede ombetu hu anamon Pacho dile tro mediana na kwasibuafo medase pi ti ene na kwasibuafo na abon common wo chese eni kwa se ya mamre ene amane no ya tugu na akwam na fe na atie si bi so eti se tisi usu se ya se na tie ahya se na tie se ya na tie eti o twe ya mami ya fe na ne de na ba a wa firi ase a nya paye no efiri ase a nya asam ketu ase ya na akwam no kawa efiri ase aka no ese na no ba no ho e ba se na ne chiame no wa firi ase afa ne batakari no na chaso de awura no na e de ho aka de nyina no wo de akatakata no ho se de be ya obetima firi dwuma di ase etu hwe TV so e ma me afei na na kwam no wa firi ase afei na aka no ai nei enche ubehu ya toma no aje na wo de tia awura mu no ahye wonya ahye batakari ne de na e kire se nei ono so ba be kom wan komancha nya be don hore wan komancha nya be don hore na so jana na so na no makasa akom abompaye ayapaye ayikwama to be don hore ansana atene so etia maami so hwe ya afei na akom akano a wo hyehyɛ no ho afei na akom na kano a wo hyehyɛ no ho etia nche bia obahu so no ho nyina aguhyire no ho nyina agu ene esede na chesa akom no agusu a ekoso.
Just gone by earlier this week, those were some of the chief priests in the Asante Kingdom praying for successful events and warding off bad spirits who might want to interfere with the event and make it challenging in any shape or form, and also warding off all bad omen as far as the Asante Kingdom is concerned. And that's, of course, you saw my colleague with the Adom TV bringing us that earlier this week. So a lot did unfold earlier this week. A lot did unfold, and the major event, the final funeral rite, is expected to happen today, and we're going to bring you live coverage of it on the show today. Of course, it's the late Asanteheemaa's funeral that we're bringing you. We're going to be having a conversation with one of the leaders of the Asante Kingdom very shortly to get a good sense of what happened earlier this week, and even some of the visuals that we've seen, to get a good sense of what all of that entails, and much more what is expected to happen today. And we're going to be having that conversation very shortly with one of the chiefs. Is Nana Yaw Akuoko Otumfuo Asantehemaa of Sapase. He is joining us now, and I understand we have him on phone at the moment. Let me just try and touch base with him. Nana, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning. I know it is expected to be a long day for you, but can you help us just appreciate the late Asantehemaa, exactly the kind of figure she is in the Asante Kingdom?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good morning to your viewers. The late Asantehemaa, a very lovely to be with. In fact, I even knew her early before Asante school, and she's somebody who is very welcoming, and anybody who comes her way, you really love this woman. In fact, she was really a mother. She was really a mother, and she symbolized everything motherhood is about. And that is the late Asantehemaa that will be married today. You can't finish describing this woman. Very wonderful, and you really love to be with her. Anytime you go to her, she will open up to you, welcome you. She's always full of smiles, and in fact, we lost a great figure and a great leader in her.
In terms of her role in the Asante Kingdom, can you help us properly understand her role in the kingdom?
Yes, our traditional system is that the queen is the second in command after Otumfuo. So that is one of the official roles of the queen, the second in command after Otumfuo. She is also said to be the counselor to Otumfuo, and for that matter, other chiefs. So there's a saying in Tree that you could not be one. So when a king or a chief is in state and finding some difficulty somewhere, you just again necessary and the perception that he's going to see the old man. And when we say we are going to see the old man, the Adoa, then we are talking about the queen mother. She is also the head of the family. The structure of the family said that when you become a chief, you are sacrificed to the two. But as far as the family issues are concerned, she is the head. So the Bushapeni takes charge of the daily activities of the family, and if anything overhauls the Bushapeni, then the queen is consulted. And the lineage of every two also resides in that of the queen. So when we say you are royal, it means that you are a lineage in that line, the matriarchal system.
Okay.
So that is when we say that then you are really a royal. You can be a king or a chief when you are no more there. Your son can never succeed you because you are a man. But the role the woman plays is that their children can either ascend the man, the stool of the men, and also that of the women. So that is why we say that it's matrilineal. So the women I think plays a very key role in the structure of Asantehemaa.
Okay. And in terms of what she did in her role, I'm sure, just reading some of the things that has been written about her legacy, enormous. But from your position, can you please share with us some of the things that she did which contributed to the development of the kingdom over the years?
Well, the first thing that you can think about is counsel. But using a figure, a pillar of the reign of Otumfuo, even when he was not a father. You know, if you take the role as a king, for those to the elders of Otumfuo, so was that body was part of. And also, if you talk to the queen mother and also the royal wife, Otumfuo, she's also in charge of, and she's wonderful. The title, the treatment of the mother, and that of royal wife, Otumfuo. Even if we are put that this good count, his work is very better. The role is, yes.
Mine seems to be breaking a little. If you can just readjust it and speak up a little for me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is it better now?
Yes, please. It is better.
Yes. So, like I was saying, the role is very unmatched, even without the chief. We always go to her for counseling. If any matter is beyond you, you can go to her and very welcoming to receive you and also educate and students that know. So we cannot discuss. So anybody that has become or has been in contact with this woman can really attest to it. You can talk about the presidents, the ministers, anybody that goes there, she's ready to receive you and offer some sort of advice to you. And you always love her counsel.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Now, just let's talk about what has happened earlier in the week, because we saw a number of dignitaries come to the Ministerial Palace to mourn with the king, a number of chiefs likewise. We understand that all of those were rites that were being performed ahead of today. Let's talk about what happened earlier in the week. I mean, what was the significance of all of that?
In fact, if you look at what has happened in the week, she is such a huge figure in the Asante Kingdom. And for that matter, you expect that people will troop in just to see her and then bid her farewell. And because we did not want the people to overcrowd, we had to apportion the days for a certain group of people to attend so that we can have a very relaxed atmosphere. And that is what we've been doing. Aside that, every day, the King will come, go and look at her mother traditionally and also her sister before she sits in state. When he does that, he also goes there to also give condolence to the royal family before she comes to sit in state. And there are other traditions that goes on sometimes behind the scene that we don't make it public. But in all, there is a preparation that we are doing for mourners to come and mourn with us, and so that today we can marry our queen. So all those who are concerned, especially the Asantehemaa and people beyond us, the man was to come and pay homage to our departed queen, and that of Otumfuo to and that of Asantehemaa. So everything that we've done will be clamors to the leading atmosphere that we were preparing so that we can bid our woman and our mother a big farewell today so that she can rest peacefully.
We've seen visuals of the king in very sober mood, and we've seen him, for instance, we saw visuals of when he went to see the body of the late Asantehemaa. He performed some dance, rituals, I believe they were. He's been in some outfits throughout the event. At a point, we saw him chewing kola nut, and a few other things have been happening. We've seen the king in different mood. Can you explain to us the mood and the rituals that the king has been performing throughout this week, what it really means in the context of this very event?
Okay, the thing is that when there is funeral, we take it as a declaration of war. Whenever we are having a funeral, it's a war because it's a very serious and a very charged atmosphere. Our belief is that if death is like war, what will happen? So when we see that we are in black, that is what we call kuntumkuni. Anytime a kuntumkuni means we are in high spirit. It's not a joke matter, it's a very serious matter. So the appearance of Otumfuo on the first day, she was wearing what we call the krobonche. The krobonche is, and then there were some fence, what we call aya. It is fence and some pepe. Fence signifies, you find the fence mostly on trees, and it's all every day. Any wind that passes by will just be shaking the fence. So it's like, for how long will I continue to be shaking? And then we also see the pepper. The pepper signifies something that is very hot. It's not a pleasant thing to taste. So it signifies the mood that Otumfuo is in, and for that matter, that of Asantehemaa. So those appearance of Otumfuo speaks of the current state that Asantehemaa is in. And that is how come you see him in all those things. And kola nut is not something that is sweet. So when we are chewing kola nut, it means that we are not in the best of moods and something bad has happened to us And all those things signify the mood that we are in, and that is the morning mood. So every appearance of Otumfuo signifies the morning mood. And when you see Otumfuo dance in front of the queen and all those things, it should show that bravery attitude of Otumfuo that if there was any other thing or any war, any human being, we would have fought to make her stay alive. But that is not the issue. So it's a show of bravery, it's a show of readiness that if anything comes that we can fight as human beings, we are going to fight. And that is what Otumfuo's demeanor always look like.
Let's also talk about, the night's activities, because we've seen visuals in the night where we've seen some of the leaders of the kingdom who were moving, at night. Some people were found outside, they were asked to stay inside. And even yesterday, we understand there were some major events that happened in the night. Can you help us in that regard also? What was all of these things that were happening in the night?
Those things are more of religious activity. The world is revolving very fast, and we've not put aside that of the Christian faith too. So mostly in the evenings too, we have the Christian faith who are joining to also pray for our departed queen, all in preparation for today. And there are certain things that are not supposed to be done. It's not everything that I can explain to you because certain things are very sacred and we need not bring it out. But if you are doing something overboard or if you are not doing what is expected of you, you'll be brought in line. So all those things are rituals that we need to perform for the queen so that at the end of the day, when he is being taken to the man, then we know that we have really cleared the way for her to be at the mine where she will be laid perpetually.
Chief priests, number of them, engaging in their rituals, and we showed our viewers some of that, and we understand that they continue to do that. From what we gathered, it's to the effect that they were doing it to ward off bad spirit, etc. Can you share more light on that with us also? Why you have this number of chief priests gathering in Kumasi for this event?
The formation of Asantehemaa, the story that is being told or how it came about can never be complete without the role of the chief priest, the traditional chief priest. You have story of the great Kwamkwanoche who was oppositional by divine nature came together and showed us. So the creation of the man, the chief priest, chief priest, and they have for the time to continue to play their role as the spiritual heads of the kingdom. So in such occasions, you cannot exclude them from such an activity. One, they are to pray and make sure that we have a peaceful observation and the morning activities so that nothing untoward happens. Two, they are also to clear evil spirits that will come and then have anything to do, whatever that we are doing. They are also doing their own thing to prepare a way and clear the way so that the path for Asantehemaa to also be laid to rest will be very, very smooth. So their role is very, very important as far as Asantehemaa is concerned. And Asantehemaa has so many deities, so many shrines. And it's because of the role that the Confederacy played in the formation of the Asante state. So they have been key to every issue and every activity that has gone on within the kingdom. And they are very, very important to us because they serve as the spiritual head of everything Asantehemaa.
Now, let's come to the event today, and let's stay on the chief priests as you spoke about. In the event today, just give us a sense of what is going to happen today. What is going to happen today, because we understand it's going to be quite a long event. Help us appreciate what will go into the event today.
Yeah, what will go into the event today is that we are expected to receive the head of state, which is President John Dramani Mahama, with his entourage to come and pay homage to the king. We are also expecting the former president, Kufuor, to also be there with his entourage. We also expecting former president John Akuoko. In fact, he was there on Monday because he is also part of the family. But officially, he's supposed to also come with his entourage today. We are also expecting the former Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia to also be there. And also, we are also expecting some foreign envoys and some dignitaries and the embassies across in Ghana to also come and pay homage to our Queen. Today also will be the final service that will be held in honor of our Queen. So the burial service will be held today. The laying of wreath will all be done. Utumfo will lay wreath. President John Dramani Mahama will also lay wreath, and other dignitaries will also be laying wreath. And when all the service is done and the wreath laying is done, that is when we all go back and then the rest. And then in the evening, we take our Queen Mother to Asantehemaa Bemu, where some rituals will be done before finally we take her to Bremen for him to be laid to rest.
I mean, let's talk about Bremen. I mean, why does she have to be laid there culturally?
Culturally, that is the resting place of the royal. When any royal passes, that is where he or she will be laid to rest. So it's the official and the cultural laying of rest for the royal.
Let's talk about, replacing her after this event. First of all, how long will it take till she's replaced? And then you share with us the process that it will take for a replacement for her.
Normally, it's not supposed to take a long, but it all depends on Utumfo. Utumfo has the final authority and the final say in everything that goes on as far as a replacement is concerned. But what will go on is that Utumfo will meet with the royals, talked about the replacement, and then Utumfo will select one person, and that one person will be given to the Gasi division within the Kumasi Traditional Council. So the Gasi division to present the appointed Queen Mother to the other authorities, that is the other council members within the Kumasi Traditional Council and also the Asantehemaa. So normally that is the process. So Utumfo will choose one and then he will present it to the council. So it's within the power and within the domain of Utumfo to name a successor for our departed Queen.
Until that happens?
We are doing that.
How long will it take for us to finally get to the place where a new Asantehemaa will be installed?
Oh, it will not take long. As once she's laid to rest, we are expecting that about within 40 days, all these things to be done, and then we get a new Asantehemaa.
I mean, and just briefly though, if I can just take you a little back, you mentioned that in the lane of, in laying her to rest, you take her to Bremen, but then you mentioned Asantehemaa somewhere in there, that she will go to Asantehemaa before Bremen. Can you just share a bit more? Yeah. Can you tell us exactly what happens there? What is that all about?
That is also a mausoleum. It's also one of the places that formerly, it's also one of that was the former place that they used to lay the royals to rest in the olden days. So some of the parents are outside there. So you have to go there, do some rituals for finally the taking their mind. So it's like they are going to inform them of the coming of the Queen before finally we take her to Bremen. So it's also a mausoleum where we have old chiefs and old queens who are also laying rest there. That's why we call it there. Whenever we hear them, is a laying place for our departed souls who are royals.
Interesting. You said at least 40 days until we get a new Asantehemaa. But just to also help us on this subject, then we can finally let you go. I'm sure you are getting ready to join the funeral service. I mean, who or which people are potential candidates for, what do you call it, the role? I understand, is it the sister, or, just help us understand which people are going to be considered for this role.
In fact, for that role, it's solely preserved for 2-4.
Yeah, but
anybody with 2-4 will choose to be a royal. Anybody with 2-4 will choose to be a royal within the Oyoko family of Asantehemaa. Nobody outside it can be chosen. So to be a friend, an auntie, and anybody royal to go.
So any royal can occupy this very role?
Yes.
Wow. Really interesting, really interesting. Well, just for you and your other chiefs, just finally though, what is going to be your role today at the service?
Yes, for us, I am a member of the Yaw division. And for Yaw division, our role is anything that concerns the palace. We are in charge. All the performances, all the rituals, any activity that we are we are kindly. So even before we have in when we have any all the things that are those who are the body, protect the body, making sure in the answer, whatever that they are all part of that. They would take every part of the palace. So every activity that we from, we are part of it. So today, ourselves and the other divisions, they all come and pay their last respect to our queen and also agree to 2-4. So that finally, when all is done, we can send her to even to the Bantuman of the and then to the Burma. And let me say that it's not even every chief that is able to pay to accompany the body to the advance a lot of them. We have those who are part, and they are also part of the Yaw division. They are work. Because when you come to the palace, we all have our roles that we play. So, and not all chiefs are supposed to be there because those rituals are done by specific people, and they are in charge, and they are not supposed to speak about it. So we have people who will be in charge of that. So everything that is going on, apart from the planning, is being done by the Yaw division and other chiefs within the family.
Well, one of our viewers wants you to help us with some visuals that we have on our screen. I'm not sure if you can see them, but we can see some white substances that are being poured on the body of some of the traditional priests. And they're wondering what exactly it is and why they are having to pour it on themselves. If you have some information, on that for us. Yes,
whenever you take it's a white powder, it's a powder.
Okay.
And it signifies purity, it signifies the full. Mostly the priest is when they had sex because it's been part of the
So it's a powder and it's part of the things they use for their rituals, right?
Yes.
Well,
and anything that powder signifies what is being done there because whenever we are purifying ourselves, we are supposed to be clean. And the white symbolizes that. So they are doing that to purify, and also it helps them in the activities and whatever that they are doing, the ritual.
All right. Nana, any final words for, all of the people that will be looking forward to the event today?
What I'd like to say is that today is the final day, and this is true. It doesn't happen regularly, so we are that food to come away with in that nobody will be taken, nobody will be children, all committed, they are allowed to pray. And let me also say that in the evening, whenever you come, make sure that you get home early because you are not supposed to be around in the evening, especially when the body is taken to Bantuman Ben and that of the market. We are also saying that because those things are pure rituals and studying everybody that is supposed to. So we talked about it and we are still repeating it that you can do your activities today, but not evening. make sure that you get home very early. And there was a circular that the most businesses are not supposed to pay. But yesterday, Otumfuo made it clear that, in fact, it's not all businesses, but he's talking about the marketplace, because the market is solely for Asantehemaa. And for that matter, those marketplaces are not supposed to function. So nobody goes to the market today, but for the banks, for the other officers, Otumfuo made it clear that today they can all go to work. It means that you can also come to the Nigeria Palace because the president will be there, the former will be there. They all have to come and ensure support. What is most important is that the people also take in state. There will also be a service in manner of the father queen. So today the activities are very packed and they are very, very strict. So we have to be there and observe it because it doesn't happen occasionally. This is one out of many situations. It happened the last 8 years, and now that is going to happen. We are not expecting it to even be happening frequently. So come and experience the beautiful culture of the Asantes and the unifying spirit of the Asantes. As you know what happened yesterday, beautiful culture display from even other people outside Asantehemaa. They all came to pay their homage to the king, signifying that we are one people as Ghanaians and we are also one people as Africans. So we need to be there and experience the beautiful culture of the Asantes as we propagate what we have as Ghanaians to the world.
Well, Nana, thank you very much. Really, really appreciate your time this morning. Thank you for all the insight, and we are all hoping for a very successful event. Thank you, Yaw Akuoko, is Otumfuo Asantehemaa of Sapase, and we've been speaking to him. He's been offering us valuable insight into what has happened earlier this week and what is going to happen today, and also about the Asantehemaa role in the Asante Kingdom, even the process towards replacing her. He's offered some very valuable insight into all of that.